All right, we are back. Whether you're watching us on Wealth Protector TV, Personal Pension Radio podcast, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you are hunkered down during quarantine time, welcome back. I'm joined by my friend Gene Hino. Gene, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, Craig. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. We have, as a firm, done our absolute best. And I have to say, we've got a great team. We've done our best to get as much information as we can out there about what everything going on with the coronavirus, whether it be government assistance programs, paycheck programs, loan programs. And one of the big questions that I get as a retirement income specialist and the work that I do on the law firm side with living trusts and estate plans, I get this question a lot, which is healthcare. What do we do about health insurance? Health insurance, whether you're retired, retiring soon, raising kids, whatever it might be. And I wanted to invite Gene to be on today to ask him for his feedback. Because what is it, Gene? You've been doing the health insurance thing for a few months, right?
Yes, goodness, many years. Yes,
many years, and that's the lead in, I guess, that to say that Gene has tremendous experience in the health insurance space. And I guess the best question to ask right now is, when you look at the health insurance space, what are the changes that you're seeing at this crazy time?
Oh boy, that's a great question. Well, at this time, one of the things that actually covered California initially introduced and this is mostly on the individual family end, would be a special enrollment period, which is for the second quarter of this year, where people can now enroll even if they don't have coverage at this time of the year, which is unusual. Guaranteed issue, no pre-existing conditions, and they can enroll in April for a May 1st effective date, May for a June 1st effective date, or June for a July 1st effective date. And also you can do directly with Blue Shield and HealthNet are also allowing this special enrollment due to the COVID-19 virus. So that's
that's a really big change. I mean, because the enrollment dates were very rigid. And for those of you who actually are watching this, we have folks on our subscription lists all over the country. And Gene, you're mentioning the Covered California program, but I'm imagining that states that have similar programs have probably done similar things.
Yes, some have, and it does vary state by state. I mean, I'm actually licensed in Arizona, Nevada, Utah, Texas, some other states, and obviously do most of my business in California. But yes, depending on the state, there have been some changes, and and every state is not the same. So it does have some variation there.
Gotcha. No, I really appreciate that. When I think about it, I understand from a basic perspective, because you helped my wife Amy and you helped us with our personal insurance, but individuals and families can't typically purchase health insurance outside of open enrollment, other than this special enrollment period, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, typically these days from November 1st through December 15th for a January 1st effective date has been the typical open enrollment, and then generally extended from December 16th through middle or end of January for a February 1st effective date. And other than that, you can't buy individual family type plans unless you have what we call a qualifying event, losing other group health insurance, moving here from another state, those types of things.
So it sounds like a lot of this special enrollment period affects people that are not even just covered California, right? I mean,
that's correct. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, there are certain carriers that are not allowing or going along with that, but you can apply directly to either Blue Shield or HealthNet, and I can help people do that if they have a need, or God forbid they have a serious problem with the coronavirus.
Okay, that's actually going to be a really important question, that if people have questions about their personal lines health insurance or their work program insurance, that sounds like an opportunity for me to say, you should connect with Gene. Is that, that's a good direction, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm finding even more on whether it's individual or family plan or group plans rather, that the doctors that maybe at one time were on the plan decided not to affiliate now with that PPO network or whatever it is for that provider. So we're seeing it more commonly that we have to switch from one carrier to another.
Oh, right, because doctors who were considering their options as far as being part of one of these programs decided to step back and say, "I don't want anything to do with that." And now you're left with a doctor who's not in your in what's it called, in your network, right?
Exactly, yeah, and it's frankly frustrating for me as well as the client because we look at, okay, who's your doctor and are they part of the network? We look it up, they're part of the network, but then the doctor changes mid-year and
Right.
all of a
Right, and then they've got to
sudden,
go out now. Then they've got to go out and make the adjustments, and that's where you come in, especially when Amy and I had to go through it. That's where having you to sift through all the details is really challenging, and that's why your months and months of experience was really important, right? So I've got a question though, as it relates to just this.
yeah, you see,
Yeah, this crazy time with coronavirus, COVID-19, what are you hearing from the health insurance industry perspective as far as changes in health insurance rates and things that people might be expecting coming along?
well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just give a brief example, and these are just numbers off the top of my head. This is not scientific, but if you haven't, say, in the state of California, you end up with 1/10 of 1% of the people that get the coronavirus. Out of 40 million people, the math works out to about 400,000 people. And then if you say, okay, well, some people are going to go in intensive care on ventilators, run up six figures of additional medical costs. Some are just going to have routine and be maybe a few $100s in costs. So if you just take an average of say $1,000 a person times the 400,000 people, that's $400 million in additional medical costs
Wow.
just in California for coronavirus.
Wow.
So, that's significant, and that's going to raise rates. And usually we have the usual medical inflation, technology, more robotic surgery, better brand name prescriptions. Fraud is sometimes a factor, but
Yeah.
yeah, that alone is going to add. And unfortunately, we're looking at some, larger increases, I would guess, coming in 3, 6, 9, 12 months from now.
No, that's actually very insightful. I mean, when you think about what it's going to do, the ripple effect to future premiums, that's actually going to tie into this next question. I'm going to say that from a personal lines perspective, meaning just insurance, for example, that my wife and I purchase on our own, that's something that if you're out there listening to this, you're hearing what Gene just said, rates are going up. Now is the time to take that preemptive step to start researching your options and looking at what you can do to adjust or lock in your coverage. But if you're a business owner, if you're out there and you actually have a group health insurance plan, talk to me a bit about that right now, Gene, on the planning aspect. What can a small business owner do when it comes to their group health insurance plan? Sounds like now is the time to be really starting to do some research on this.
Yes, we're sometimes seeing that, some of the business owners, usually the first of a month is your anniversary date. So it's December 1st, September 1st, whatever it is. And sometimes we're looking at businesses looking at it more a non-anniversary. With health insurance, there's no penalty by switching a different time of the year, like there is with some of the property casualty coverage. So there's no penalty by starting with a new plan. And again, it might be because your providers are no longer part of the plan you are with. In a nutshell, for the groups that are 2 to 100 defines the small group network in California, and those are typically age-based rates, as opposed to the 100+ employee groups, where it's typically what we call a composite or one rate for all employees. Yeah, we're looking, guarantee issue for businesses 2 or more eligible employees. It can't be husband and wife.
Right.
Yeah, it actually can be like husband and daughter. I'm actually working with a group now where we have the spouse, the wife is going to be on the husband's coverage, and then the daughter is going to be the second employee. And as long as
Oh,
they're
gotcha.
W-2 employees, it works. In group versus individual, and in a general sense, groups tend to have a little more rate stability. And one thing that is important for some people is they have much better out of networks than the individual family plans. So
Oh, okay.
any traveling where you're in Las Vegas, Chicago, Atlanta, whatever, you do get out of network benefits with the group plans. With the individual plans, where you have pretty much dropped that out of network benefit other than an emergency.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So there is so many different pieces of this, Gene. When I look back on, gosh, me, 20 plus years of being in the financial services world, I can't tell you how many times I've looked at the health insurance stuff and just I would pull my hair out, right? Because it is so complicated. How do people, if they have a question about their personal policy, their group policy, if they want to do this preemptive planning, how do they get in touch with you, for example?
Well, either phone or email, whatever's easiest. Email is my first name, Gene, Gene, at kfico.com. Or my cell phone is 714-403-4004.
Gotcha. We'll put that up on the screen so that everybody can actually pause right there and get Gene's contact information. Make sure that you've got that, because take it from me, right now we are getting so many calls from people who are saying things like, I've been thinking I should get this done and I need to get this planning done, and this whole coronavirus has just reminded me, and it's kicking people into gear. If you're in that situation yourself, now's a great time to double check your health insurance status, whether it's work or personal. It's a good time to get in touch. And if you have any questions for me, always send me an email, craig@craigstrom.com. And that'll wrap it up for this episode. Gene, thank you again for taking the time out. I really do appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure, Craig. Very nice to see you and connect with you via Zoom.
You got it. Take care.